welcome to the Book Over, a little book club where we talk about books, especially the ones that give us book hangovers. I'm Sarah, with me is Megan.
Hey, everybody.
And today we are talking about Princes of Ash by Angel Lawson and Samantha Rue. It's book 2 of Princes and book 8?
8, 3, 6, 7, 8. Yep,
Yeah.
8 of Royals of Forsyth.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. And Megan and I were just talking before all this, like recording, like how much we love like the Lords and the holiday scene, because the holidays are coming up, and like just how like, you know, when we first started reading this series, how we were like, how damaged are we for loving this? And then now we're like just totally accepting all of it and just be like,
just desensitized.
we just love it.
Even in like a normal conversation, I brought up the chest carving and how like I wouldn't want that in real life.
Yeah.
Like
Right?
that's just like part of our normal conversation now. Like let me just reference this book.
Yeah. I think it. I
have a normal
think
conversation.
it in like conversations with non like people who wouldn't know. Like I will throw in like a joke about something that happened, like a severed head or like Remy's colors, like you know, like all like something will happen, or like the like candy cane hung game or something. Like someone will say something and I'll like make a dirty joke in my head that like goes with it. And it's just like
no one can appreciate it.
No, more people need to read it.
It's such a bummer.
That they can laugh or like elbow me. Like,
I seriously need Remy merch with his color wheel, with his colors.
His
like
color
I
wheel.
need that wheel, and we need to insert it into our daily lives. It's so good.
Yeah, I love it.
But yes, this was Prince's. This book,
yes,
Princess of Ash, was so good. This is definitely my favorite of the princes so far. I just love I just feel like the relationships like built perfectly, beautifully, really. And like I wasn't stressed out, if that makes sense. Like it's dark and everything, but I was able to enjoy them falling for each other in a dark situation.
I liked that this one had, I felt like it didn't fully follow their pattern, because I feel like book 3 is when things start coming together with that more, you know. And then this book we're getting the relationships and like, oh, I kind of do have feelings for you, and like figuring it out one-on-one, not as a group yet, but like, you know. And so and them figuring out that Verity does take care of them or know them and understands them and is there for them. And so it was different because I wasn't expecting that. And I love that like the Angel and Sam are changing, like they don't, none of the groups have been the same. And I love that. It's not just the same old formula. And
it's not this book we fight, this book I get revenge, this book we come together. It's not
like you don't know what to expect. And I love that. And and Megan told me, because she read it before me. You finished the book before me, and you said something about how like you loved that I'm gonna love all the princes by the end of the book, and that you love, and I was like, we'll see about that. And you're totally right. Like by the end of it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I love you all. And like
there was no like I don't think I can't pick now. I think I've always leaned towards Wicker. But this book, it had me leaning like, because Wicker was he took the longest to warm back up.
Yeah,
but maybe that's because I feel like he warmed the most the first book. I don't know. I like that pace was consistent. Like he was just like, I'm not fazed by this. I'm going to be here for you no matter what. Like, love that. I love when in a reverse harem and they're not getting along, where one of them is like, we got our problems, but I'm here for like till the end. Like I loved that. Like I needed that steadfastness to not be stressed out. And then I think so then Lex like gave in pretty quickly. And then Wicker, and it's because Wicker is like very sensitive and he's been very hurt, and he just I think he felt, I don't know, almost like their relationship was like they understood each other the most. I feel like they were in my opinion, I think they were the closest at first. They have this like broken thing. I mean, they all do. That's the thing. They all have this like broken thing in them.
I know, but now they can like heal together,
Yes.
you
Yeah,
know? And I just
exactly.
the progression of everything and how
Mhm.
they actually like going through stuff together, they've worked out things and
Mhm.
they've seen where the other one's coming from, but then like also like I was not expecting
Mhm.
I'm like, just kill King Ashby. Like, I love, like, there's that
Right.
scene where,
Same.
like, they're in the
Same.
office and then, like, I'm like, okay, you have a gun. Just get
Yeah,
rid
just
of it. But I
act
loved that
now.
though. And I loved, like, and then I love, like, I don't know, it's hard to explain it. It's just, like, all those little the big things too, like her having to be in the dungeon and, like, coming in and taking care of her, and then, like, "Oh, I can do it." Like, he can't do it right now. He can't see this. He's detoxing, like, all these
Mhm.
things, like, they're all taking care of each other in their own way and getting through
Uh,
it. But I think that was,
mhm.
like, the needle for them, like, "You can do this to us, you cannot do this to her." And so that's why they were like,
Yeah,
"We're done."
like she is part of us.
Mhm.
And she's like, I think that they needed to see that she wasn't, like, was it Michael, like the original son that they
Mhm.
compared to?
Yeah.
Also, she was going through the stuff that they went through, which I think is important. I mean,
Mhm.
I hate that she has to, but
Yeah.
she had the punishment that Lex had. She had the punishment that Pace had.
Mhm.
So she's going through. So I think that makes them see that she's like can see it from their perspective and
Yeah.
she's seeing it from their perspective, like, oh crap. And she didn't have to necessarily go through what Wicker went through. She kind of did a little bit with like their one punishment, but like seeing that video of Wicker and stuff, I just think that like there were all these little things planted in there so she could have a better understanding of what their lives were like, so they could have an better understanding of what her life was like. I think that's just it is done very, very well. I love when they're a unit. I've said this so many times. To me, my favorite part, and the reason I love series is because a lot of times you can have a burn level where it's not too fast paced
Mhm.
and you don't have like a third act breakup. I hate third act breakups
Mhm.
where they're a unit. My favorite part in these kinds of books is when they are a unit and they face it together.
Yeah.
And they can have their issues within the relationship, but they're
Mhm.
still a unit. They're
Mhm.
working through their stuff. And I felt like they were a unit, you know, pretty early on in this book. They kind of realized, even before they realized it, they became like,
Yeah.
they
They
became a
didn't
unit.
realize it. That's what I like too.
Yeah.
I'm reading it and I'm like, "I know and you don't know."
And yes, and Ashby is their bigger problem right now.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
Ashby and even like their underlings because they
Mhm.
don't respect them and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's the overall world.
But
Mhm.
some of them have hinted that they would follow. Like, there is the one, and I forgot his name, that went to
Yeah,
her
there
and
was like,
said, like, what he said to
mhm.
her to kind of, like, ease up, like, or some of her
Yeah.
tension around him, and so I was like, I think there's a possibility with the right ones gone
Mhm.
or put in their place and the right ones to
Yes.
follow. I think
Yes.
it's there, so it's, like, just getting it all there, and I liked what I really liked is seeing also the Dukes here and, like, them I'm just waiting for that scene of, like, the princes going to, like, family dinner.
And I feel
You
like it's
know?
coming. I feel like
Yeah.
it's coming because at the end, like they were lending their assistance. They're like, you don't have to do this alone. We're like
Yes.
fighting. Yeah, I loved that.
I
And
liked
like
that.
them being in their mansion and like getting their impressions of each other, that was really cool.
Mhm. So
Question
funny.
and gosh, I'm always gonna love balls. That question for you: what is happening to? Okay, oh, first of all, we know there's missing girls.
Mhm.
Is it related, the handmaiden, oh, her name is escaping me at the moment, but
Sophie? Sophia?
I don't know, is she related, is her disappearance related to the missing girls, or is it something separate? Because didn't we think, like, she was in the princess's car, so there might have been, like, they thought they
She
were
was
getting the
in Verity's
princess?
car,
Mhm.
and I think it was somebody trying to get to Verity that didn't know any better, and my question I'm wondering if the counts aren't all gone and if there's somebody in the counts who's trying to like
Do
make their
something?
own hideaway.
Interesting, interesting. But then again, the counts are gonna have to come out here and be, you know, the dark characters we root for, but also be characters we root for.
Mhm.
They've never been. The counts I feel like have them the
That's
furthest to
true.
go. Angel and Sam always say we're not ready for Barons, but I feel like counts will have
Do
to
you
be
think it's
redeemed the most.
Ashby?
Hmm.
Do you think Ashby,
Maybe.
because he's smart, do you think Ashby is doing some underground type thing?
Maybe, but she's not of their blood though. She's technically from Lord's territory. So I don't think he would want her for like breeding purposes because they've
No,
made it
but for
seem
other
like
purposes.
I feel like he only cares about like the breeding stuff in one way or another and he pimps out people, but I guess maybe he would pimp out anybody.
Because I could see him being like, if I take her,
Oh,
the
as
Verity's
leverage?
going to stay.
Wouldn't he would he have used that previously, or do you think he will use that? Well, and then he's got Ballsack, who this is the second girl of his that's gone missing, and I don't suspect Ballsack or
No,
anything,
no, I
but it
don't.
makes me wonder for their relationship because I do feel like they put the girl that's going to be the next girl in the book. Like Verity, Lavinia, they all appeared in the previous series.
Mhm.
So I'm like, have we not met who's going to be in the next series? Or I was thinking that it was going to be her, the handmaiden, that she was going
So,
to be the next.
yes, I'm remembering a theory. Did I tell you this theory? That
I don't know.
maybe she gets captured by like a count and it ends up being like a capture or captured fall for the person who kidnaps you thing.
I like that. Sorry, Ballsack. Or maybe he joins.
Because I like the groups,
That could be interesting. Like, what if she gets stolen for like a blood ritual by the Barons or something?
right? I don't know if Balsac
Ooh.
can deal with Baron stuff.
Baron, yeah, he doesn't seem like he has
But
the.
Barons are next, right? It's not the counts that are next.
Well, okay, so they had always said Barons were going to be last, but lately I've noticed in the
The
lineups.
lineup counts are last in line lately.
Yeah, so I'm like, did they change it? Like maybe they had came up with a story and they're like the counts have to be last. Also, are we like there's still a
I'm
little
ready for
part
the
of me
Barons.
that thinks that Lavinia's dad might still be alive or something because of
Well,
the
yeah, because we don't
explosion.
know.
We don't know if he's really alive or not. That could be a whole thing. But
Well, and
I
then what
feel like
happened to Story's mom?
well, she turned out to be bad and evil, and then they kill her. They
Did
killed
they
her.
kill her?
Killed her. Killed her. I think they killed her.
As
Um,
long as she's dead, then I'm
I
okay.
think so. And then okay, so part
You
of me
guys, it's
wonders.
been so long. So I
I know
know there's hardcore
I
fans that are
think
gonna
she
like
reread.
comment or
Sarah's
message us.
reread a lot.
It's been a we've like just we'll
Sarah's
figure it
reread
out.
more than me. I don't
I've
remember.
reread a lot, but usually just my favorite scenes.
Understandable. Well, and I do wonder, I don't remember if Angel or Sam have said if there's going to be like, I think there will be like a wrap up book, like an epilogue book. Like once we have all of them, like kind of wrapping up the world, or like
Oh, okay.
that would be
That'd
interesting.
be awesome. I mean, we're like you and I talked about wanting a second generation.
I was just
So
about to say that. I was about to say, I still want second generation with the kids. Like this has
yes.
to happen. Like
I
we
mean,
need
we're
it.
gonna have a little prince coming and Story's having a girl, right? Didn't we find out she's having a girl?
Can't remember, but I feel like it's a girl. Boy, I do need to
Right
reread this. I look
there,
forward
right
to it.
there. We have
Yeah.
a little
And
lady
the
and
dudes talked about wanting kids eventually.
I mean,
So time and
we're gonna
timeline
have an
wise,
RH from each house. It's gonna be one from each. We're gonna
yeah,
have a lady and then people.
girl, boy. I mean, it doesn't have to even be each house. It can be
Yeah.
like most of the houses, and then
Mhm.
maybe one isn't into
I
it,
love it. I
whatever.
so need
Maybe
a
one's
second generation.
villain. Maybe that's the village and the villain origin story for it is that like he like someone's not included in the RH and he's like really mad because he's like really evil or something. But then you're gonna like the parents. I don't know. It could be
I
good.
always fall for the villain when they turn like I like the villains that like I
Me
like
too.
villains. Like,
Me
like
too.
the like yeah. Okay.
I was reading a book and the villain was made not only attractive, but like they gave him this sad backstory. And I'm like, well, I really understand him. And then they were trying so hard to make him really the villain. Like he was not the villain turned hero. And I'm like, I'm struggling, guys. Like everyone else is like, yeah, he's terrible. And I'm like, I'm falling for him. I would like, I'm like, this could be good if we just, I've actually really liked the MC of this series. So I was like, well, if I could get a different story with this guy, or like it was hard for me, and I wanted to go in the group and be like, who else is fangirling him? And I'm like in the group just seeing hate comments for him, and I'm like, what's been like, I don't think I'm the normal reader. I think there's a subsection of us, and there's a lot of stickers and merchandise about like liking the villains.
Mm-hmm.
But I think some of us like the really villainous ones.
Yeah. 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 I like it when they, turn hero. So
That would be cool if that one turn. I don't think he's gonna turn hero.
So back to the book.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, this one was good. I just I worry about them.
It'll be the third book usually, I feel like, but
Yeah.
we're saying they're deviating from formula, but I think the third book,
Yeah, yeah.
they have to come together. As long as they're together, I'm happy. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. And
as long
I
as they're
just
that
there's so many
unit.
going after because there was that guy. So the guy in the woods, do you think that's the same? Like they know who Verity is. So like there's
Mhm.
multiple people coming after her too. And I'm like, stop, she's pregnant. Like let her just be. So it's like there's
She'll
so
probably
much
get kidnapped at least once. The baby will probably get taken. It'll
like
probably be a whole thing. But I hope we get to see, them have the baby and stuff. But I do worry, like Verity kept thinking, and I think the guys even said it, like she was thinking she was going to get to take care of the baby, and I was very scared that she
mhm,
would get comfortable and then the baby would be taken from her. So I'm glad they're at a place where they realize, hey, this is not safe. Like I'm glad the guys wanted to escape with her.
yeah.
Like they were like, no, we're leaving. I was like,
Yes.
listen to them, leave, just leave, go
Yes.
with them. They know
Yes.
what's best
Yeah.
in this scenario.
Yeah.
So
But it speaks for her where she's like, I'm not going to leave without finding her first.
yes, it does. It really
Like
does. And
that is like that's so Verity.
it
Um,
is so her. Yeah,
but
it really is.
I'm like, honey, you leave and hire somebody to come find her. Like,
Yeah.
like we
And the
need you to be
Lords.
safe. Like,
She was in Lord's territory. The Lords will look after her. Like,
mm, mm,
yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
Mm,
It's so good. Definitely a top favorite of mine from
mm.
that world. I
I feel
really
like
loved
this
this
fall
book.
had just so many good books, and that one was just I'm happy. It was
Me,
worth
yeah,
it was worth waiting for it,
it
and
was. It's
I'm
it's
yeah.
it's weird. I feel like our favorite series that we're following, like all three came out at around the same time. So we got hit with like good book, good book, good book.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
now we're just kind of like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
See you
Yeah.
in 6 months to a year
Mhm.
for like all of the ones that we're really
60
anticipating.
in 6 months. We're gonna just take a 6-month hiatus till our next.
I mean, Sarah, think about it for a second. It's like May, maybe by the end of the next year for the other one.
Hmm. Yeah, it will be okay. We'll find something. We're gonna keep reading, you guys, and
Yeah,
it'll be fine. And
it will be fine.
yeah.
Everything is fine. Okay. And there's a couple I'm looking forward to in January.
Mhm. But yeah, no, this was a really good book, and I'm happy. I like the princes more than I thought I would from the first book, and I'm happy, pleasantly happy to be reading. It's just so funny because
And
it's
in the
so
first
dark,
book.
and there's so many things
Mhm.
that you would think like, what is wrong with me for liking this? But I do.
I don't. I'm so past that.
I know you're just like whatever, Sarah. I'm there. All right. Okay.
Okay.
We're gonna go now, and we'll
Yep.
talk to you guys later.
Bye, everyone. See you in the comments. Comment all your love for the Royals.